Managing the job really quickly, just some obvious stuff that most of you guys should be aware of. User providers management tools, Odesk and Elance, and most of the providers actually have some management tools inside it. Don't pick the winner on Elance and then go off and just deal with them directly in the real world. You've got no protection, you've got no security. The Elance guys, the Odesk guys, all those sort of people actually offer some valuable resources to and support if something goes wrong. So make sure you use their tools. Use escrow where possible. Don't make my mistake and pay someone $900 up front.
I was just going to share that I did exactly the wrong thing. I had somebody on Odesk that was fine, moved them off Odesk, and everything just went to crap.
Yeah, because they just go, oh, I'm free now. I can be a bit of a loose cannon. So you want to protect yourself. Never pay 100% up front. It's my own lesson here. And also get non-disclosure agreements signed where possible. We've got something to give out to you. We'll email it around if we don't have it printed for you today. And even if it's not actually high IP, I encourage people for ongoing work to get them to sign an NDA anyway. It shows they're serious. It shows you're serious. It's that other little hurdle they have to jump through to prove to you they actually want to work with you long term. It doesn't be anything scary. None of this sort of big 25-page stuff. Just a couple of page NDA. It just shows you that these people are going to be less likely to screw you over if they sign that, because it's just that little bit of extra self-selection you want to take them through. Outsourcing Ledger. This is what I touched on earlier, how I justified the $1,000 loss that I had recently. I had this mental ledger when I do outsourcing or outtasking in particular. That, okay, I want this website done. If I didn't outtask it, I use someone locally. I didn't go overseas and use geo arbitrage. I actually use someone locally. It'd cost me $500, $1,000. That article, that ebook that I was going to have written that cost me $1,000 on Odesk probably would have cost me about $5,000 locally. I have some ghostwriters do my serious books with me and things like that, and $5,000 for the size of that book. So I'm like, hey, $5,000 is what I was going to spend over here. Over time, I might have had another website design. That $200 website I got done recently would have probably cost me $1,500 here. So I now would have spent $6,500 for that website and that ebook. So over time, you work out what I would have really spent to get this work done. So, hypothetically, in the last 6 months, I probably would have out-tasked about, in Australian dollars, what would have equated to maybe $20,000 worth of work. I have spent out-tasking, let's say, $4,500. So even with that $1,000 loss, I'm still ahead $15,000. So that's the outsourcing ledger that I have in my mind to say, look, I'm going to get burned every now and again, but over the long haul, I'm going to be ahead about $15,000. So don't get, oh, I lost $1,000 here, but over here. It's the same justification my girlfriend has when she goes on eBay. She might get screwed every now and again by ordering something on eBay that doesn't turn out to be genuine, but at the end of the day, if she actually bought those dresses and those shoes and those handbags, she would have spent $100,000, but she's only spent $5,000, hypothetically. So this is that internal ledger that you can justify to yourself as a business, that my business is ahead $15,000. I've got the exact results I want, but I'm $15,000 ahead. Even if I'm losing $1,000 here and there, I'm still ahead as a business. It's just a cost of doing geo arbitrage outtasking. So that's something just to keep in the back of your mind of how to actually ledger that off. So with that, that is the end of session 2.